My name is Vladimir Sliva. I came to the US in 1983 and lived in socialist Czechoslovakia before that. The US situation seems similar to that in Czechoslovakia when socialism started. And I see it has been deteriorating fast lately. Today is August 12, 2012. Confiscation of church property using anti-religious laws happened in Czechoslovakia outright after communists came to power, and here in the US charities are forced out of business. The latest is through fines via violated mandates. See for example various US bishops' documents and statements in references below this video. Labeling Christians as enemies of state using laws in Czechoslovakia resulted in religious orders having been disbanded, many priests and religious and some lay people sent to prisons. Here in the US we hear this is not a Christian country anymore and Christians are supposed to finance and celebrate other people's immorality, otherwise they will face persecution by government. See for example ADF summary of HHS mandate in references. Laws against life and family, including free abortion and free contraception, were introduced in Czechoslovakia right after communists grabbed power in 1948. The contraception law was never reinforced there, and little known to Czechs is the fact today that this law 66/1986 SB is still technically in effect. In the US, the HHS mandate has been the law since August the 1st. Another parallel is that of divide and conquer. In Czechoslovakia, while Catholics were not able to print books, Protestants who were in minority with respect to Catholics could print books. That way we got ecumenical Bible, where we apparently cooperated regardless. In East Germany there were more Protestants than Catholics, so Catholics were allowed to print books. Pacementaries was an organization of traitorous priests in Czechoslovakia, and those were usually blackmailed into this organization by the government. Eventually the cardinal had to ban that organization. And in the US, some poorly catechized Catholics are taken advantage of by government to help in attacks against the faithful Catholics. For example, a large percentage of those claiming to be Catholics voted in 2008 for politicians and parties that officially advertised going against the non-negotiable Catholic teaching against abortion, and that way these voters helped to install the anti-Catholic HHS mandate. Freedom to worship at church only was something we had in Czechoslovakia. However, when you went to church, consider that you will never get a good job and your children are to be excluded from education starting with high school, which was already selective. Here in the US, I have noticed the government stopped to talk about religious freedom and instead talks about freedom of worship, which is frightening to me. Another parallel, media schools, filmmakers provide dishonest news, rewrite history and traditions. Czechoslovakia had a tightly controlled government machine on information. One example how they manipulated information flow is that I was not aware of Mother's Day, which had been celebrated in Czechoslovakia before socialism. I have only learned about it after I came to the US. US media is voluntarily promoting socialism. Events with hundreds of thousands like March for Life go unreported. Government schools do not mention to students traditions, even like Valentine's Day now. Things are here now in the US, how they started in Czechoslovakia around 1948. And I see it getting worse. So the following Czech examples show how our future here in the US is likely to look like unless we vote right. In Czechoslovakia in the 80s, the law about the offense of obstructing surveillance of churches was used, which could put you to jail for 2 years, and you could get kicked out from university as well. Here are some examples what were just some underground activities for which we could have been caught. Underground preparation for baptism, marriage, other Catholic sacraments. Our priest was František Kohlíček. He spent 10 years in prison, where he was exposed to radiation in uranium mines. Apparently they tried to kill him. Here is our priest, František Kohlíček. Another illegal activity I participated in were weekly meetings with other university students in this priest's apartment. One weekend we went to a secret location outside of Prague where a priest whose permission to be a priest had been revoked by government. He served daily masses illegally. After the revolution, he was allowed to perform his priestly duties again. And then he became bishop, archbishop, then cardinal, and then the head of the Czech church. His name is Miloslav Vlk. And we met with him in Archbishop Palace in Prague Castle, years later after the events I'm describing. So Cardinal Vlk is here with us. From left to right, it's myself, my wife Renata, and Cardinal Vlk. Even 23 years after the Velvet Revolution, which was in 1989, confiscated property is still stolen in Czech Republic, and immoral laws against life and family are still in place. What can be done to avoid that situation? Start from yourself, get informed, defend God's leaders, vote based on God's rules, and participate in public events. If I did not get the point across and the socialism takes permanent hold in the US, I expect that to resolve the immigration problem, since nobody will want to come here anymore. And on a more positive note, thank you for listening, and please vote pro-life and you will live in prosperity.